What's up, everybody? I'm Doug.
And I'm Lorenzo.
And this is the very first Good Suffering bonus episode.
Bonus episode.
And today we are going to review a movie that is brand new to both of us and basically everybody in the world.
Yep.
Hereditary.
What?
And I don't think we'll necessarily do this for like every horror movie we see together, but this is just so damn notable.
Yeah, we definitely had to do this.
Yeah. And it's right along the lines of the kind of horror that we're both looking for. And it was definitely like, this just seemed like the right thing to do.
And it kind of ties into the next episode. Not the one that's coming out at around the same time as this. The following one. Yeah. My next choice, basically. Yeah. I don't want to spoil that now. But yeah, you'll find out.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so... Shit, man. What do you think? What did
I think?
Yeah, what did you think of it? Going as less of a horror guy.
That's fair.
Than I am. It's always your opinion first.
So I was sweating just thinking of like seeing this movie. I asked you like that day. I was like, should I see this? Because you had seen it before me already. I was like, should I do this? Like, I'm scared. I'm really nervous. And you're like, yeah, do it. You should be scared. And yeah, I was shitting myself the whole time. Immediately. It starts off with like scary music. Like the score just does not ease you into it. Like like you're in some shit.
And it's a great score.
Oh, it's a great score.
I have to get the vinyl.
Oh my God.
I think it's out. I really got to grab that because it is gorgeous.
It's amazing. Yeah. But I hated it right off the bat because I'm like, why are you so scary already? You just started. Just do some exposition.
It's been seconds.
Do some setting stuff, please. Like, don't start this way. But needless to say, no, it is so freaking good. So damn good. Such a movie all about grieving, all about loss, and all about like family. Oh my God, just perfect concoction for me.
A24 knocking it out of the park again.
Again.
What's gonna stop them? Who can stop them?
Me. They're gonna give me a script and
they're gonna give you like $10 million and
you're direct this. And I'm like, bet, and then I fucking I just tank. That's what's gonna happen. You heard it here first.
Before I get into my opinion on the movie, let me talk about my experience with this movie. I wouldn't call myself an expert in horror by any means.
Oh, really?
But I'm a little seasoned. I've been in this game for a minute.
Why are we doing this show then? No, this is a lie.
It's all a lie.
Okay.
I watched Goosebumps as a kid, and now I'm a horror expert. But this is the first time in my entire adult life that a horror movie has intimidated me just based on notoriety. I wasn't even afraid by the trailer. I'm not really affected by trailers positively or negatively. I'm not a trailer person at all. I would rather not see them. I saw the trailer on accident.
Yeah. I mean, I knew that, but I didn't know that they didn't.
They don't really do anything for me one way or the other. But I was super duper intimidated. I remember, buying my ticket and going inside and sitting down and just being like, am I really going to do it? Like this is my chance to go. Like, I really genuinely thought like, maybe I should just get up and go. Maybe I should just let it simmer. Maybe I should wait for it to be on DVD or on TV where it's in an environment I could control with the lights on.
Yeah.
And I stayed, and I was definitely rewarded for it, both positively and negatively. But, yeah, this was like, I would say just right off the bat, probably the scariest movie I've ever seen in my whole life. Like, I don't count, the fear I have as a kid because, I'm just a kid watching movies that are too mature for me. But like as an adult, as somebody who is like the complete okay age, I'm not too old, I'm not too young. I am like right there. This genuinely fucked me up.
Yeah.
And it is not that kind of jump scare horror like you see with a lot of films. It is the horror you bring home.
At all.
It is the horror that sits with you. It's the horror that makes you look twice at dark corners and at people who are across the street from you. It is the kind of horror that makes you think, about your life.
Yeah.
It is the horror that fucks up the things that you do on a daily basis. And that is truly like the most effective horror that can be given.
Yeah. It's really about lineage. It's about heritage. It's about like what happened before you, what kind of deals were made, what kind of things happened before you were even born that has affected you and you don't even know it.
The people in your life who control aspects of your life that you have no control over, your parents, your kids, It is genuinely an incredibly intelligent film. Outside of the horror, it is just so well executed technically, on a script level, on an acting level,
God.
on an effects level. It is
There's so much.
fantastic. There's so much going on
Yeah.
in this film. It is based on some real life, I guess, demons. I guess the
Real life demons.
yeah. This is, oh, by the way, this is definitely a spoiler review. I guess I'll put that up in the name of this episode.
Oh yeah,
But
we
they're
didn't really
definitely-
mention that.
Let's definitely we can get into spoilers. That's okay.
Yeah, we should.
But this is based on a bit of an obscure demon named King Payman, and the symbol that is used throughout the film is actually the sigil of King Payman. It is also based on some real life events of the director and the director's family. I listened to, there's a great podcast out there done by Mick Garris where he interviews Ari Aster, who's the director. And he says, like, you know, personal tragedy hasn't really befallen him, but like a lot of the film is based on things that have happened to, you know, people he's related to.
Shoot.
Yeah. But yeah,
Wow,
man.
I didn't know that part.
Where to go into this? Where to attack this movie from?
First, you kind of talked a little bit about your experience just going to see it. I want to talk about mine because I was texting you.
Yeah. You are lucky because you got to see it in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
I went at like 10:15 on the Thursday night it opened,
Yeah.
man.
I saw it later than I even wanted to. I was going to catch a matinee, and the next time I couldn't make it to that. I think I saw it at like 4. And I legit was in the movie theater. I'm like, oh my God, if it's dark out when I leave, like I'm so fucked. Luckily, like there was still light out a little bit. But yeah, no, I was in line to get like tickets. To get popcorn. I already got my ticket, and there was this like mom and this like little girl, like not little, she's probably like in her teens or something, but they were legitimately like arguing, just like a full scale argument in this movie theater. And I texted
What a
you.
good way to set up this film.
That's what I mean, man. So that's why I texted you. I was like, look, if they follow me into this movie theater, I'm out. Because either A, they're gonna ruin it for me, or B, like they're part of it. Like, you know, they're, I don't know, some kind of promotional thing.
Like a
Like
plant, like an
yeah,
industry plant.
exactly. Or C, like they're just freaking just crazy. I don't know, I might die. Luckily they didn't go in. But yeah, no, there was just so much like nerve-wracking stuff going on. Like you said, like the intimidation was there. Yeah, I don't know where to start. I mean, one thing that I do just want to mention, I don't know if it's a great place to start, but just the editing. I was a big fan of like the cuts between days.
Right.
They were like really hard cuts between like the nighttime and the daytime, and it was just of the house and
one
it all
towards the
built up.
end,
Yeah.
Where it's just daytime and then it just tonight and everybody, all the
Just
naked
people
like cult
standing.
people are
Oh
just
my
standing there.
God.
And I saw that right away, but like the theater took a second, like at a gasp. Like they were all like, what?
Yeah.
Like I don't like I love going to horror movies in packed houses because like it is like I've seen horror movies where I'm the only one in the theater, and that's such a great experience. I did that for The Witch. I did that for Paranormal Activity 6, which was like, but like still, it's like any horror movie. It is great to just be in a huge theater alone with a huge screen and it's super dark. It definitely ups like the anxiety levels that you get during it. But there is something about seeing horror with just a group of people and really seeing the payoff and really being, it's just this shared experience. It's fantastic. People were in on this movie. And I heard some good reviews walking out of the theater of people talking about it. Some people who didn't like it too. But like for better or for worse, everybody was in. Everybody was there in the movie.
Yeah, you heard the discomfort when I at this taping I was at, or the showing, whatever. Because there weren't that many people there. It was just a handful, and we were all like scattered around.
Right.
And like just in the quiet parts, like where you didn't know what was gonna happen, like the car scene, like the car scene,
Right.
With the cameras just on the naked brother. I forget which one.
If you don't have any context, the brother Peter in the film is played by Alex Wolff of the Naked Brothers
It's
band.
Alex.
Yeah, it's the younger one, the drummer.
Gotcha. Yeah, I remember the birthmark. I just forgot his name.
Yeah, he looks so much different. Nat Wolff doesn't. I forgot what I saw Nat Wolff in, but he really looks the same. But Alex really doesn't look like.
Wildly different. But yeah, so like, and this camera just lingers on him for so long. Like I know we've talked about like long takes in this show before. I don't remember what movie, what context, but this was,
Rosemary's Baby, probably.
I think so, but this was just really, really long. Like, and it was just, you don't know what's gonna happen, and you just silence in the theater, and people were like fidgeting around and like just like coughing, like nervous coughing. It's like, oh boy, like when's
I need sound right now.
When's the jump gonna happen? And that's the thing, like there's no jump scares.
Yeah.
It's just all like just burning sensation of like shit. What's gonna happen? Where does it lead to?
Right. The I guess the only thing close to a jump scare are those like little clucks, which I called clicks for the longest time, and they're clucks. Like A24 calls that the cluck, and Alamo Drafthouse calls that a cluck.
Yeah.
Yeah, you saw that great little thing with her. Yeah.
That was so cool.
Yeah, this movie, like, just wow. I guess just like.
Are we even reviewing it? Like
we're just praising it at this point. Yeah. This is just a fluff piece. No, I went and saw it twice now. There was definitely less people in the theater the second time because I saw it in the middle of the day on a Wednesday instead of like a Thursday night, like opening night, thing. And that was definitely a different atmosphere. And it's you have to go see it a second time because you feel like you're conquering it.
Yeah, I haven't yet. I've only seen it once.
The first screening is the emotion screening. I cried 3 times during the first time I saw it, just even out of sadness. I cried. I cried.
It's a lot of grief.
At the end, I cried when she took when Charlie's head gets. Like when she gets the knock.
When it happens,
like when you realize, like
the screaming,
like just like during the whole thing when she's like when you know she's dead, when he like kind of starts to talk and there's like no response in the back. I just knew, I knew like she wasn't surviving. I was just like I was there. Then the part that got me the worst was that like Annie's nightmare sequence where she goes to her son's room and they're arguing about like I didn't want to have you, I wanted to save you from this, and they're all like they're both doused in the paint thinner. Yeah, it really got me, and it triggered some like just familial anxieties I have, and it's just like it is so like it is as sad and as just gruelingly sad as it is gruelingly scary. That
was something that one review I read kind of mentioned. Just about how like it's like it hurts, particularly like the first no, not the first, the second funeral scene. She's just like just wailing, just screaming her freaking like lungs out for a long time, like over different scenes. And it's just like you feel the pain, and there's just pain that surrounds this whole movie. Especially with the little dioramas that she does, like her little art pieces.
And they're also a really great way into her psyche too.
And she's trying to like distance herself in a way. Like she even did like the scene of the accident, and like the husband and dad is like upset. It's like, why are you doing this? And she's like, no, it's just like it's like
neutral view,
right? Which it's very clearly not.
No,
but no, it's such a heartbreaking story that ends up like scaring the shit out of you too. Like it's just effective.
Yeah, there's on those little miniatures. There's the great one of. She's nursing the baby and her mother's offering her breasts too, or them sleeping in the room and the ghost of the mother is standing in the doorway.
Yeah.
There's just like these really great, like it's like pseudo exposition is what it is. And it's just so well done. And you really get a really good picture of everybody in the film. And it's,
I don't think there's anybody that's like not fleshed out.
No, absolutely not. It is, man, I have no knocks against this movie at all. I'm already like, ooh, I should get a Hereditary tattoo. Like, what should I do with that?
You're not.
It's like I certainly will.
Okay.
Lorenzo's just superstitious.
I don't like it. I don't like the tattoo. Do you want me to?
Yeah, go ahead. I don't care.
You can say it.
Oh, I was thinking about getting the King Payman symbol somewhere on me. Sigil, I guess, is the right word.
Which we have stated already earlier in this episode.
Connected to like a
legit thing.
Legit as in the way of it is not a fabrication of the film.
Right.
But
it's not just from the movie. It
depends on how you feel about demons.
Okay. Well,
which are that they aren't real is the correct opinion.
Don't care. I'd rather be, on the safe side of things. So that's why as soon as Doug gets that tattoo, Good Suffering will be no more. Our friendship will be no more.
I was thinking about doing like Monday. Like I just really want it because it's gonna be like $50 to $100. Like I might just go out and do this. I
Well,
love this movie.
Yeah,
This
no,
is good.
I did
If
too,
this-
but I'm not gonna put no demon symbol on me, man.
If this at the end of the year, if you're on any of my personal social media, you'll definitely see my top 10. But I was thinking at the end of the year doing some kind of like top 10 horror movies of the year, top 5 horror movies of the year. That would require you seeing a lot more new movies than you do, but at least in horror.
Yeah.
But like this, I would be genuinely shocked if this is not my number one on both of those.
Right.
It's going to be a lot. Like I loved it last year. I have a Pennywise tattoo on my leg of Bill Skarsgård's Pennywise, and man, this was even better than that. So
Yeah.
this is everything. Hits all the marks that I'm looking for in just a film. Period. This I hate talking about like, oh well, this transcends the genre because I don't think the genre is a thing that needs to be transcended, but it really does. I think that if there's a horror movie you're going to show skeptics, if there's a horror movie you're going to show people who don't like horror movies or complain about jump scares, any of those like really like generic complaints that people have, this is what you show them. This
That
takes the
being
place
said-
of like the Babadook and like the Witch and like It Follows.
I don't know though, because the same thing with you mentioned The Witch. A lot of people hated that movie.
Yeah.
And the same thing with this.
But
the
this-
same with
well,
Hereditary.
this-
A lot of
this-
people, it's just like, oh my god, this is the suckiest movie you've ever seen. Don't waste your time. I see those comments like,
Yeah,
oh, this is such a boring movie, and I love those.
Somebody
I love
walked
how
out of
weak
my
they are.
somebody walked out of my my first screening and said, quote, I felt like I was losing brain cells during this movie.
And I don't know. I love hearing that about this movie specifically because I don't get it at all, and I want to investigate.
I think those are people. There are a lot of people who look for just like very face value entertainment, like very like those are
So they
probably
are
the peop-
looking for jump
Those are
scares, then.
probably the people looking for jump scares.
Right.
But if somebody says that horror isn't smart, this is the movie that you show them. Horror is smart.
And this is a debut.
Yeah, this is a
Wow.
feature debut.
Wow. God.
And the little girl who played Charlie, this is her first film too. I think it said introducing in the opening titles. So
Jeez.
she's
Yeah,
had some
no.
Broadway experience. I know on that podcast with Mick Garris I was talking about. It's called Postmortem. Definitely listen to that if you listen to this. It is fantastic. It's just an interview podcast. He said like she's had some Broadway experience and she's actually like a wonderful singer and stuff. So
I'm glad she's alive
yeah,
and has her head.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad they all are. I hope Toni Collette shows up to the Oscars headless.
Yeah. I hope she just floats.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Just floats up in there.
Oh, man.
God, that scene too when she's just like hanging above and she's just like, what is it, like a garrote wire kind of thing going on? Like
yeah,
she's just, oh my god.
No,
that
even
sound, too.
before that, when she's like in those corners hanging up on the wall as Peter wakes up, and then she runs after him, and then she's like banging. She's like
Yo,
floating
when she's
ceiling,
on the
banging
ceiling,
her head.
that freaked
That got me out. That got me more than any other scene. Like in the moment, I was like,
I don't know what it is about it, but it's just so like
it's so quick.
like,
I think it's slightly
human.
sped up.
It is for sure.
yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, that freaked me out. The corner stuff, man. Like I kid you not. Like I was checking, like every so often in bed trying to sleep, just looking at
Just
corners. Yeah.
Hey, you there, Charlie?
Because
hey.
because it's so it's the first time they do it is like with after the funeral scene for the grandmother, and it doesn't call attention to itself. You barely see anything in the dark, and then later on when it happens, like I could tell that people, like you said, with like the when they cut to the exterior and you see the naked people around the house, the same thing happened with like I guess basically like the last part of it, like where the mom is she's on the ceiling.
Everybody's got like their eyes have to focus and then
Right.
get there. Yeah,
Exactly, and then you hear the gasps, and yeah, it's just I don't know. It's so beautifully done. It's incredible.
It. Like I don't even know what to say, man. I don't know what to say about this film. Like, just please go see it if you're here listening to this. You probably like horror. You should catch it.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth the shot. It's beautiful and it's brilliant and it's framed well. It is. If you are somebody who likes technically sound movies, there's something in it for you. If you like good acting, it's in it for you. You like scares, it's in it for you. If you like family drama, it's in it for you.
And a legitimately like compelling story too.
Yeah.
Just finding out little by little about this family, about the research that's done basically, like when as she's learning about like, oh my god, like who is this lady, like why do you have like the same mat that's like knitted the way my mom used to do things. It's just a lot of cool stuff that's going on. just story wise, and you know, even high school aspects, like that felt like kind of true to like, you know, just being a teenager. Like he's going to this party, he's got to take his sister with her.
And he's a teen. Obviously, he's irresponsible. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And he's just trying to
Oh,
hang out with the girl he likes and smoke weed. And,
yeah.
yeah, it's just like
And it's just a crushing loss that just happens right then and there.
yeah.
Oh,
It's
and that
his
dinner
fault,
table
but it's
scene
not
too.
his. Oh my god.
That exactly. It's like his fault, but it's like, who told me to take you know, my sister?
And
Like,
she like Annie already knew that it wasn't going to be like a school function. 'Cause
Right.
she even asked, like, "Are you drinking?"
mhm.
Like they're like, ah.
It's a great family dynamics. Great story.
It is like if you've ever had those moments in your life where it's like there's no one to blame, but some shit is fucked up right now. It's got that in there for you.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I think we've waxed poetic on this enough, man.
Yeah, I don't know. It really is just us like drooling.
Yeah.
Although, but there's one thing I have to give a little shout out to, and not like a positive shout out. A.O. Scott of, you know, just critic fame for the New York Times. I'm just gonna go ahead and read this the way I feel like this headline should be read. Are you ready?
Just the headline.
Just the
right?
headline. Yeah, I haven't read this yet, so I don't know what's
It
happening.
could wind up being a positive thing, but also this is just such a it's at its best clickbait.
Yeah, so here we go. About that Hereditary ending? Really?
I wish this was a video podcast so you can see how his face was when he wrote that. It is so accurate.
That's it. That's the title. That's the headline.
Oh my god. Yeah, there's like a lot of people, like I saw people complaining like, "Oh, well, I didn't see that ending coming. Where does that, like, that doesn't make any sense." But like,
How
what,
is that a
really? Like,
problem,
how does
though?
that A, like, yeah, like you shouldn't see all your endings coming, and B, how do you think it doesn't make sense? You know what I mean? It is all there. It is all being given to you. It's fed to you slowly through the film.
No, I was gonna say, if anything, that's like the most like on the nose it gets. That's the most like expositional it gets. Like when they start explaining, like, oh, like Paramount needs like the host to be a male or whatever.
Yeah, they got
like,
those
and-
shots of the book and stuff.
Yeah, so then they start just like feeding that information like right there, like just hand feeding it to you, and that part took me out. I was like, all right, this is a little cheesy. And you know what? I've noticed that too. I feel like this is something we can talk about a little bit more as episodes go on or whatever. But I feel like there's always this part in horror movies where my disbelief like just it vanishes, because then they start explaining what's going on, and then I'm like, okay, I'm no longer scared because I'm not confused. So that kind of happened in this part. Like now that I know what's going on, the horror aspect's kind of gone.
Well, then you would really like The Witch, because I don't feel like there's a whole lot of that.
Not a lot of explanation.
No.
Cool. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know.
We
if
should do
I'll
that for a future show.
possibly.
Yeah. Think about that.
Okay.
But yeah. I guess this is a good spot to end it. You have anything else to say?
Just listen. You're listening to two guys just freaking fawn over this.
5 feet apart.
Not gay. I mean, if you don't believe us, I don't know. I know we're sounding like we can't say anything bad about it, which is true.
You just you
Try
had a
it
problem with
out.
the exposition.
At-
I'm so
at the
okay with
very-
exposition. I get it. There's, I get it.
Point is, just try it out. Just honestly
Certainly.
watch this movie if you haven't already, because I think it's worth seeing it in theaters.
Yeah.
And I think if you have even the slightest curiosity to see it, I think you should act on it.
I'm so glad we're not putting this out like the day after it comes out. I'm so glad, like, not only that I've had a little bit of time to simmer with this, but like if I even convince one person with this to go see it, like somebody's like, yeah, I'll give it a shot, I would be so happy, because they're definitely gonna get like an empty theater at this point, 2-3 weeks into it.
Yeah.
Then I just go see this alone and go just go let this eat at you. Because this is how horror works, you know what I mean? But thank you guys for listening. We're definitely gonna do some more bonus stuff and in different realms in the future. But for now, this has been Good Suffering.